It's currently the international break, and some boys are away with their respected nations. In today's video, we will go over what John Barnes has said about Brendan Rodgers and Celtic, whilst going over all the latest Celtic news from the last 24 hours. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. The United States men's national team endured a shock 1-0 defeat to Panama in the CONCACAF Nations League semi-final, with Celtic's Cameron Carter-Vickers left on the bench and his club teammate Austin Trusty already ruled out through injury. Trusty, who missed the Glasgow derby due to a calf complaint, also had to withdraw from the international squad, leaving Carter-Vickers as the only Celtic representative in the squad. Despite his experience and solid domestic form, the centre-back was an unused substitute during the match. The Americans were heavy favourites going into the semi-final, but failed to convert dominance into goals. Panama struck a decisive blow in stoppage time to seal a historic victory. For the USA, it was a dismal showing both in terms of the result and performance, and one that raises questions about the direction of the squad ahead of the 2026 World Cup. The result means Carter-Vickers and the USMNT now drop into the third-place playoff, where they will face Canada and fellow Celtic fullback Alistair Johnston. Johnston, who has also been in solid form for club and country, will no doubt be looking to help Canada bounce back after their own defeat to Mexico in the other semi-final. Kick-off is on Sunday at 10 p.m. Celtic Park time. Now for the main story, as John Barnes has fired off a bitter dig at Celtic, as well as Scottish football as a whole, in a thinly veiled critique of Brendan Rodgers' decision to return to Parkhead. Celtic's head coach Brendan Rodgers attends a news conference in Munich, Germany, Monday, February. The former Celtic manager, who was sacked after a disastrous 9-month stint in charge back in 2000, did not hold back when asked about Rodgers' future and the wider ambitions of Scotland's biggest clubs. Speaking on the subject of whether Rodgers might fancy another crack at the Premier League, Barnes was dismissive of the challenges in Scotland, branding the Celtic job as an easy life. He said, "He's going to win the league most years up in Scotland. He's been to the Premier League a couple of times and he's gone back to Scotland. It's up to him what he wants. It's a very easy life for him up there. Celtic are the best team and Rangers are struggling." Barnes' suggestion that the Celtic manager has it easy ignores the high-pressure nature of life at Parkhead, where winning is expected and every dropped point is scrutinised. Own in both stints at Celtic that he's more than capable of delivering success. And while Barnes might scoff at the ambitions of Scottish football, Celtic fans will continue to demand the highest standards, both domestically and in Europe. Rodgers may well go back to the Premier League, and no one would blame him, but he's made it clear that he's seeing out his 3 years at Celtic. His contract is set to expire next summer, but he's been tight-lipped about any potential extension. On European ambitions, Barnes was equally cutting, stating bluntly that Celtic will never win the Champions League. Celtic is never going to win the Champions League. If they can get through to a knockout phase or to get through to a group stage, fine. But that is never going to change. Not in his Rodgers lifetime anyway, he said. He went on to criticise supporters' expectations, implying that calls for success in Europe are unrealistic and that any manager in Glasgow will always be limited by the financial realities facing Scottish clubs. "I don't see why those expectations are there," he concluded to Poker Scout. While some may see a grain of truth in the financial gulf between Scottish clubs and Europe's elite, Barnes' tone is unlikely to win him many fans in Glasgow. His own managerial spell at Celtic ended in disarray, and the timing of these comments, as Celtic chase yet another treble and reflect on a strong European campaign, feels particularly pointed. Rodgers, for his part, has shown in both stints at Celtic that he's more than capable of delivering success. And while Barnes might scoff at the ambitions of Scottish football, Celtic fans will continue to demand the highest standards, both domestically and in Europe. In other news, Kasper Schmeichel took to Instagram to share his delight after captaining Denmark to a 1-0 victory over Portugal in the UEFA Nations League quarter-final first leg on Thursday night. The Celtic goalkeeper wore the armband in the absence of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and played a key role in keeping a clean sheet against a Portugal side that featured Cristiano Ronaldo up front. It was Schmeichel's 112th appearance for his country, and it ended with a hugely important result as Denmark now head to Lisbon for Sunday's return leg with a slender advantage. Posting on social media after the final whistle, the 38-year-old said, "What a night, massive game Sunday now." The keeper talked about how it is his boyhood dream to captain his country. Schmeichel has enjoyed a strong season at Celtic since signing last summer, playing a pivotal role in the club's domestic campaign and continuing to impress with his leadership. While his distribution came under some criticism in the recent Glasgow derby defeat, there's no doubting his experience and impact in high-pressure matches, both at club and international level. Leading his country to victory against a team packed with attacking talent is another proud moment in a long and decorated career. With a huge second leg in Lisbon to come, Schmeichel will be aiming to guide his side into the next stage of the Nations League and extend what has been a fine run for both club and country this season. And lastly, Kyogo Furuhashi has broken his silence on the challenges he's facing since his January move from Celtic to Rennes, as speculation continues to swirl about his future at the League One club. Kyogo arrives at the stadium before the match action images via Reuters/Lee Smith. The Japanese striker was a standout at Celtic, scoring consistently in the Premiership and Champions League. But since making the switch to France in a £10 million deal, his game time has dried up. He's managed just 93 minutes of football for Rennes, with no goals or assists to his name. Despite that, Kyogo was named in Japan's latest international squad, alongside current hoop stars Daisen Maeda and Reo Hatate. So while the move hasn't gone to plan on the pitch, from an international perspective, it's yielded results, at least for now. Kyogo, who's reportedly not in favour under Rennes' new manager, has addressed the tough transition. Speaking to Nick and Sports, he said, "I'm running, hoping that 1 pass out of 10 will be enough. It's not good for a forward to stop moving there. I'm running and communicating." He admitted the circumstances are difficult, but remains optimistic about making an impact. "Even in difficult times, I believe I can make a splash somewhere. To that end, I want to prepare well and polish the areas I can on the pitch. That means I can perform well when I'm on the field, and I want to stay positive and do my best." It's a stark contrast to his time in Glasgow, where Kyogo was one of the first names on the team sheet and adored by the Parkhead support. Now, at Rennes, he's behind a 17-year-old in the pecking order and struggling to adapt to a system that seems less suited to his style of play. With rumours already linking him to a potential exit in the summer, Kyogo's resolve will be tested. For now, he'll hope to make the most of any opportunity, whether at Rennes, on international duty, or potentially elsewhere. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let us know down in the comments section below. That does bring us to the end of today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Thank you,